Justin.
And we're good on, and we're good online. Yeah.
All right, good morning. It is 9:31 on August 30th. I can't believe it's the end of August now. And I'm going to call to order the August meeting of the Employment Training Panel. I'm going to pass over to staff for housekeeping and roll call.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the August panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the auditorium, in order to prevent a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream through mobile device or connect to Zoom platform as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person and presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raised hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you will be unmuted. Please speak clearly, state your name, title, and company you are representing, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. And for roll call, Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Present.
Michael Hill.
Present.
Douglas Tracy.
Here.
Chris Dombrowski. Madison Hill. Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Chair Betancourt, there are 7 members present. So we have a quorum. Also present, we have Jessica Grimes, Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director, Kermani Armstrong, Chief Counsel, Assistant Director, Jaime Gutierrez, Chief Deputy Director, Laura Campbell, Chief of Operations, Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director of Technical Branch, and Michael Cable, Staff Attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move to the approval of August's panel meeting agenda. Does anyone have any amendments, or are we good for an approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comment on the agenda? No. Then we will vote on the approval.
Becca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Kirsten Browski.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Thank you. So it's the approval of the August panel meeting agenda. We'll now move to the approval of July's panel meeting minutes. Do we have any members who wish to make any corrections?
I wish to make a motion with the following corrections to approve the minutes as follows. Under tab number 21 for Tully, the second to the motion was not made by myself as I was absent, and staff will amend the minutes as appropriate to cite the correct panel member that made the second to the motion. Under tab number 13, E&J Winery, the correct final vote was 6-0 as Chair Betancourt recused herself. And for tab 15, Robert Bosch, the final vote is correct at being 7-0, but Chair Betancourt did not recuse herself.
All right, thank you. Anyone have anything else? Do I have a Second, thank you. Any public comment on those minutes? All right, we'll
No
move to vote.
Rebecca Bancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles. Aye. Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Chris Dombrowski. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Thank you. So those minutes will be adjusted for the July panel meeting. We are now moving over to executive reports. So I'm going to start with Jessica, I believe.
Thank you, Chair Bettencourt. Good morning and welcome panel members, stakeholders, and staff. As I shared at the July panel meeting, Kumani Armstrong has been appointed as our new Assistant Director, Chief Counsel. If you want to wave your, there we go. So we are grateful to have him on board. And excited to welcome into the ETP family. Today's agenda represents mission critical proposals from single employers, multiple employers, and proposals from high unemployment areas or HUAs. As a matter of fact, since the start of the state fiscal year of 24-25, the panel has approved 360 trainees, 360 trainees, and with the Ag Initiative, it has approved 1,626 trainees. So it's exciting to see how these initiatives are progressing. If all proposals are funded today, the panel will be approving projects in support of 5,394 trainees. Review and action on these proposals will be presented by the following managers: Kellen Hernandez, Chris Hoover, Phil Boyer, and Heather Miguel. Additionally, the executive report will continue with the following: an update on apprenticeships from Assistant Director Peter Cooper, an information technology update from Chief Information Officer Tara Armstrong, a legislative update from Staff Attorney Mike Cable, and a budget update from Chief Deputy Director Jaime Gutierrez. That concludes my report of the executive report. So I will hand it over to Peter Cooper. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Grimes, and good morning, panel members. So I do have for you a brief update on the apprenticeship funding for this coming fiscal year. So ETP is proud to provide significant support for apprenticeships, which are considered the gold standard for workforce training. They offer a combination of classroom training and hands-on experience and provide a proven way to develop a skilled workforce. You all know this. You know that we have been strongly supporting apprenticeships for over a decade. And at the next panel meeting in September, you will see many proposals coming forward, as well as testimonials and some more background on the support of apprenticeship by ETP over the decade. So look forward to that. Most recently, staff have worked closely with stakeholders during the past few months to work on the apprenticeship funding for this fiscal year. You will see 80 proposals for your consideration in September. The demand for funding is higher than we've ever seen before, with $103 million in gross demand being requested by 80 proposals. When all the proposals are capped at $600,000, the demand does come down to $36 million, which still is a lot and much more than our $23.7 million in allocation for apprenticeship. In other words, we have $12.3 million in apprenticeship proposals requests that cannot be funded. As we've done in the past, we recommend funding all the proposals that we receive during the funding window that meet our eligibility criteria. We strive to fund them in the fairest, most equitable manner possible. Our methodology this year for funding is as follows. We'll cut all proposals down to the apprenticeship cap of $600,000. Right size all so that they are under the allocation of $23.7 million. We will right size the construction apprenticeship programs by imposing across the board cuts of 35% to all of them. And also the handful of non-traditional apprenticeship programs will be right sized on a case-by-case basis and include the rationale for each recommendation at next month's panel meeting. I want to thank staff for their hard work to make this a fair process that supports all the programs, and especially Willie Atkinson and Heather Miguel. These numbers show how underfunded the program is. I encourage panel members and stakeholders to advocate for more funding in future years so that we can better meet this overwhelming demand for this amazing program. And with that, I'll conclude my remarks. And we will have a larger presentation in September, both the testimonials and more of a discussion about our program over the past decade. And with that, I conclude my remarks and we'll pass it along to Tara.
Good morning, panel members and stakeholders. Tara Armstrong with your CIO with an information technology update. Just two main updates I wanted to share today under our CaliForce system. As promised last panel, we have implemented enrollment validations into job numbers for our multiple employer contractors so that we can reduce any potential errors for small business and priority industry. And this assists the participating employers, trainees, to put them in the correct job numbers. So we're doing the right reimbursement rate and we're getting the right data. The second piece is just that we're now collecting county training subcontractors. I know that we're doing approvals on if they're out of state, but also if they're out of country. So you'll see that come to panel on the proposals if that's the case. And that concludes my update, unless you have any questions. I'll pass it to Michael Cable.
Good morning, panel. Mike Cable, your staff attorney. I'm here to talk about the legislative memorandum, which you have a copy of it in your panel packet. As you know, we track bills for you, pertinent bills, as we go through the course of the legislative process. And as you know, there's an employment training panel bill that's pending before the California legislature. That's SB 1321, which comes up on page 7 of 9 of your materials, which, if enacted, would make significant changes to ETP's enabling legislation, modifications to project criteria and eligibility, clarifications regarding the funding of apprenticeship programs, and then there's also some other amendments included in there as well. As mentioned at the last panel meeting, SB 1321 passed the Senate, and it was heard in the Assembly's Committee on Appropriations, where it was placed in its suspense file at that time. On August 15, SB 1321 was removed from the suspense file and, quote, do pass as amended to strike reference to Division of Apprenticeship Standards requirements, revise public notification requirements, and make other changes, end quote. Yesterday, the Senate concurred with those amendments coming out of the Assembly. And so now SB 1321 is being enrolled and it'll be put on the governor's desk for review and possible signatures to either sign, to veto, or to not sign at all, which means it effectively becomes law anyways. As we're looking at it, we're continuing to review and analyze these amendments, these changes, the implications operationally, as well as costs associated with it. And we remain officially agnostic in position towards SB 1321. We'll continue to review it and we'll provide reports as they are needed. And if you have any questions for me, I'm here with a smiling face, able to answer any questions at this time. Excellent. I will move it on then to Jaime Gutierrez.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, panel members and stakeholders. Thank you once again for the opportunity to provide a summary of the employment training panel's funding. First, and as always, I would like to welcome some of our new staff to ETP. I also would like to welcome Kumani Armstrong as our Chief Counsel. So thank you for joining us. And then also, I would like to welcome Josh Sisto. I apologize if I get the names wrong. One of our newest members to the Information Technology Unit, and also Gunit Tiara, one of our new analysts for the Fiscal Unit. So welcome to the both of them. Additionally, ETP has been informed that this particular conference room and all of the conference rooms here at the Cali PA will be undergoing through renovations starting in October of this year through February of 2025. So we have been able to secure new facilities location for our panel meetings going forward, except for October. All of the future locations after October will be at the location on 1500 Capitol Avenue, one of the East End Complex auditoriums, which we've been there once before for a meeting. We are looking at the Maley State Office Complex for the meeting in October. We hope to have all of that secured over the next couple of weeks, and we will make sure that all of the information is appropriately updated on the ETP website. But we will have different locations starting in October of this year through February of 25. Regarding the funding, today's panel meeting is for approximately $7.5 million. That includes one approved delegation order for $19,712. If all proposals scheduled for this panel meeting are funded today, the panel will be approving 16 projects. Regarding the demand, we have 282 applications currently in demand. 171 applications are currently with the regional offices in development. And as Assistant Director Peter Cooper mentioned, 80 of those applications are apprenticeships. 25 applications are under review by the Application Assessment Unit, and 86 have been submitted applications that are pending review. The estimated value of the 282 applications is $221,200,000. That is the total estimated value of all applications. And that breaks down as follows: $45.1 million in demand for single employer contracts, $3.7 million in demand for small business, $69.3 million in demand for multiple employer contracts, and as Assistant Director Peter Cooper mentioned, $103 million in demand for apprenticeships. Regarding our allocations, we are currently within our total allocations, but as you can obviously see, we are not going to be able to meet all of the demand that we currently have in place. With that, Madam Chair and panel members, that is the last portion of my update. We do not have a consent calendar this time, so therefore I will hand it back to you, Madam Chair, for the next topic on the agenda, unless there are any questions for me.
Just one question, please. If you could remind me how much we had budgeted for the max in total, if we have the 69.3 million in demand, how much is it that we've allocated?
So I believe for the MEX, let me give you that real quickly here, because I do have that. It is for the MEX, it is $23.7 million. I can run that by category if you'd like. The single employers, it's 37.9 million. Small businesses, it's 4.7 million. Critical proposals, 4.7 million, and multiple employers, 23.7 million, and apprenticeships is also 23.7 million.
Good. She's got a number, she's good. All right, thank you. We are now going to pass over to staff to start on proposals.
Madam Chair, if I could do the policy committee report out.
Oh, yeah, sorry, mine.
That's okay.
I'll go somewhere else.
For ETP's policy committee met yesterday at 1 p.m. with participants both in person and over Zoom. There were 4 discussion topics on the agenda as follows. First being a discussion on affiliates, including researching different contractor types in EDD's Unity of Enterprise program to assist ETP on this issue. Second, a discussion on the RESPOND program, also known as the Rapid Employment Strategies Pilot on Natural Disasters, which assist businesses affected by natural disasters. The topic will return to policy committee in October as an action item to enhance the current definition of natural disaster. Next, we also had a discussion on certified safety training guidelines, which allow for OSHA 10 and 30, hazmat and HAZWOPER training in ETP contracts. This topic will return to policy committee in October as an action item to remove an outdated reference. General safety training was also discussed as part of the topic and will come back to policy committee for a discussion at a later date. And finally, a discussion on application and proposal quality with an analysis of the contents of the applications and proposals. And if anyone has any topics that they would like to submit as a potential future policy committee item, please email your suggestions to Liz Testa. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any questions from panel on policy? No. Okay. We will now move to proposals.
Madam Chair, I would like to recuse myself.
On the first one, yeah. Who's coming up to the table?
Good morning, panel members. Tab 1 is a proposal from Cell Creek Corporation. They are a repeat contractor requesting $379,260 to train 315 workers. Training will take place at Cell Creek's locations in Alameda, Los Angeles, and San Diego counties. A representative from Cell Creek Corporation is present to answer any questions.
Good morning.
Good morning and happy Friday to everybody. Our team would like to thank the panel for reviewing our application. We'd also like to thank Daniel and Phil for their help as we work to get the application finalized for the presentation. As Phil noted, this is our third project, and in the two prior projects, we've hit 100% of the approved funds. In fact, in the project we just completed, it only took us 15 months to use all of the hours approved. We are a vertically integrated company in that we produce the product we install. Much of our training goes into changes in the product and the method of installation. Along with the mixing and batching and placing of our cellular concrete, we also manufacture and fabricate our own specialized machinery and equipment to install our specialty concrete. Throughout the past 10 years, I've invested time personally and professionally into both the Cement Masons and Southern California Laborers Apprenticeship programs. I've participated as a management trustee with the laborers, and I'm the current chairman for the Cement Masons Apprenticeship Program. The reason I bring up both crafts and my participation in the apprenticeship program is to highlight and reinforce that none of our training is duplicative of the training our team members receive through the apprenticeship program. I feel that would be redundant. Our focus is on our specific needs in delivering the quality products and services we are contracted to install. We try to seek wage parity with our union and non-union employees, so we've adopted a similar pay progression like the unions have. Our non-union staff receive training after every 500 hours of work, followed by an increase in pay. Once again, thank you for your time and your consideration this morning. I hope everyone enjoys the upcoming 3-day weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Does any member of the panel have questions?
So briefly, so you mentioned the great work you're doing with the apprenticeship programs, and I have great respect for that, so thank you. But you do have listed in your proposal training for apprentices. Could you elaborate on that? Because we typically train the apprentices in an apprenticeship contract for themselves. And then when we're seeing similar contractors like yourself or employers, they generally don't include the apprentices in whom they're training. It's usually journey level workers or the non-union, apprentice workers that are coming in for additional training. So I need some help on that.
So for better context, the concrete that we manufacture and install is mixed and batched on site. And in order to do that, we have specialized batching equipment that we train our employees to use. It's something that the apprenticeship program could not offer.
Any other questions? Are they state registered apprentices?
And
the apprentices receiving training a DAS program?
They're all in this Southern California laborers, Northern California laborers, cement masons unions. So I think
So
to
they are
answer your
state
question, that's a yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? No?
Motion to approve Cell Creek Corporation an ETP funding amount of $379,260.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comment on this proposal?
No public comments.
All right, then we will move to vote.
Rebecca Bancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles. Oh, that's right. Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Kirsten Brosky. And Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So the motion was adopted. You are funded and approved. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
We could leave him there for a bit. He's probably having a snooze.
Family box.
Okay, good morning, panel members. Please turn to tab 2. This is a training proposal for Global Trade Marketing, Inc., DBA Ziglift Material Handling. They are a priority industry and not a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $113,400 for an estimated number of trainees of 81 under Job 1, Small Business Retrainee. Training will take place at its Santa Fe, Springs, Tracy, and Rialto locations. This will be again, Ziglift's first ETP contract approved. And here today to answer your questions are the company representative and its subcontractor.
Good morning. My name is Veronica Mummerd. I'm the Director of HR and EHS for Global Trade Marketing. I want to thank you all for favorably supporting our proposal to train our employees and become more productive.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions on the proposal? I just have one, and I always see this on proposals, and it always sends a bit of a flag. You're looking at training 100% of your employees. Can you just help us understand how we're training everyone? So we're saying 81 of 81 employees in your numbers. So just what that training plan is kind of covering from everyone from owner down to your warehouse drivers.
Okay, we have a new ERP system we're implementing, and that pertains to all employees, from people in the warehouse, paperwork, any administrative, and that is the main priority that we're going to have. We also have constant training where we have OSHA 10, OSHA 30, and certification for forklift driving, different safety aspects.
And are you using vendors to deliver that training, or is it just within your internal teams? So like your ERP system, is it a vendor coming in to deliver to everyone?
Yes, the vendor comes in and does training to the super users, and then we have those train the additional support staff.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Global Trade Marketing, DBA Ziglift Material Handling, in an ETP funding amount of $113,400.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comment?
No public comment.
And none in the room, so we'll move to vote.
Rebecca Bancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Kirsten Brosky. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So all have approved, so the motion is adopted. Good luck.
Thank
You're welcome.
Good morning, Executive Director, Dr. Grimes, and panel members. If you please turn to tab 3. Tab 3 is proposal from Golden Star Technology, Inc. Golden Star Technology is a repeat contractor requesting $233,520 to train a total of 139 retrainees. Training will take place at Golden Star Technology's locations in Los Angeles and San Diego County. This would be the company's 4th ETP contract and the 3rd in the last 5 years. Representative from Golden Star Technology is present to answer any questions from the panel.
Good morning, panel members. Thank you for your time this morning and for taking into consideration our proposal. We've had a wonderful experience the last contracts, and we hope to continue the training for our employees. I'm Allison Zario, Human Resources Manager for GST, Golden Star Technology. We specialize in AV and IT solutions. That's it.
I turn the microphone on. Does anyone have any questions on this proposal?
This being another contract for you under consideration, and all of them are retrainees. If you could elaborate for me on what exactly are they being retrained on and why this contract is so important versus the last ones?
Being in the AV and IT industry. IT is evolving, gosh, quite frequently. AI is coming into place, all new technologies. We work with entities such as Apple, HP, Brocade, who are always taking out new product, new services, new software. So our employees are consistently training in the innovation of all of these products and services. So some of our curriculum falls under business skills. That would be a lot of the performance, technology, and product knowledge that they need to deep dive and learn new items, I would say, quite consistently.
Yeah, I think to Gretchen's point, when we look at the curriculum lists from contract to contract, they're looking very, very similar. So it raises the question every time in what's looking different from contract to contract. So I may ask that next time maybe we sharpen it a bit in the curriculum list to more of where that new one is going rather than just product knowledge. Maybe sharpen some of that, because it's something we look at is those repetitive curriculum lists as what's different, why is it different, not just in the narrative. So coming forward next time, that may be something to consider. Any other questions from the panel?
Just building on that, I had the same question when I saw the different companies. I looked in the curriculum and I couldn't match anything. So if there is, updates to Apple and Cisco and other things, it might be useful to call that out.
Yeah, it's not in there at all. As you were talking, I was like, I don't remember seeing that in there. And it's just, I would just, recommend making it slightly clearer for everyone. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0128 in the amount of $233,520.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comments?
No public comments.
And none in the room, so we will move to vote.
Becca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Chris Dombrowski. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor, so the motion is adopted and you're funded.
Thank you very much.
You panel members, let's turn now to tab 4. This is a training proposal for Lockheed Martin Corporation, which is a priority industry and a repeat contractor. There is a union involved, the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, District Lodge 725. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $599,424. For an estimated number of trainees of 446 under Job 1 priority rate retrainee. Training will be provided at Lockheed's Aeronautics and Space Divisions located in Palmdale, Edwards Air Force Base, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, and Santa Cruz. This will be Lockheed's 10th ETP contract and the 4th within the last 5 years. And here today to answer your questions are the company representative and its subcontractor.
Good morning, distinguished panel members. John Gustafson with Lockheed Martin. I'm the Director of HR Economic Development Opportunities within Strategic Workforce Initiatives. We have California is a key state for us with over 10,400 employees. Major operations again in our space division and our aeronautics division with all of our business areas operating in the state. The funding that is provided under the program is very valuable to us. It allows us to extend the training program to cover needs that would not otherwise be funded. And very appreciative again. I'll here to answer any questions on the project.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions on this proposal?
I do. Thank you so much for the high wages that you're paying your workers. I deeply appreciate that, and it shows in your proposal. I did want to ask you a similar question to what I asked the last applicant. What is different about this contract and this training as opposed to the previous 9 that you've received?
Absolutely. We have all kinds of emerging skills and 21st century security skill areas, critical skill areas that are driving additional training needs. So when you see CATIA, that's an ongoing computer-aided three-dimensional interactive application engineering design package. But you're going to start to see more in the way of business skills even that include AI, machine learning, things of that nature. We're making a lot of decisions. So we're training the workforce on these critical skill areas, and that's what's driving a lot.
Are you aware that Lockheed is also listed in a MEC further along in our agenda, specifically with the California Institute of Arts and Technology is claiming to be training some of your employees?
Was not aware of that, so
Thank you.
I should look into it.
I should look into that.
Yes.
And then a final question. We love keeping California public dollars in California. We are, very wanting to keep those jobs here in California. And I do see that it lists under development services, the retention of the Marquee Group in Texas to help you with this development. And I think that they were listed in previous iterations. It
They
seems.
are.
Just if you could elaborate as to why we're using an out-of-state contractor for that or consultant.
Certainly. And just to be clear, they're the service provider for the grant. So we do adhere to the policy around in-state training vendors. With regard to the Marquee Group, we go through a very rigorous competitive bid process and vetting process. They have to deal with sensitive information, PII data, things of that nature. So security, all of those things. And then the setup itself, they have to have a Lockheed Martin asset. They access our networks, they work. And so the Marquee Group has been doing this now since 2007-8 timeframe, I believe, for us. So thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the panel?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0129 in the amount of $599,424.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
No public comments.
There's none in the room, so we'll move to vote.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Chris Dombrowski, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Thank you. So all
Thank-
approved. Motion's
you.
adopted.
Have a great Labor Day weekend. Thank you.
Do.
Thank you, panel members. Let's turn to tab 5 now. This is a training proposal for Sun Hill Properties, Inc., DBA Hilton, Los Angeles, Universal City, which is a priority industry and a repeat contractor. Total ETP funding being requested today is for $491,400 for an estimated number of trainees of 351 under Job 1 Priority Rate Retrainee. Training will be conducted at its Universal City facility. And this will be Sun Hill's second ETP contract and its second in the last 5 years. Here today to answer your questions are the company representative and its subcontractor.
Morning, everyone. My name is Nancy Castro. I'm the Director of HR for the Hilton Universal. We wanted to thank you for your time and allowing us to be here.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions on this proposal? I think in the same vein, it's the second in several years. How's the training looking different and avoiding duplication of training team members who may have been trained in the prior contracts?
Are advancing. After COVID, we've noticed we need to implement new procedures. We are also building a new tower, so we want to cross-train all these employees that we currently have.
Okay, any other questions, comments from the panel?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0135 in the amount of $491,400.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments.
All right, so we will move to vote because I don't see any in the room either.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy, Chris Dombrowski, and Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So the motion was approved and it's adopted and you're funded. You're welcome.
Thank you, panel members. Tab 6 has been withdrawn and will attend a future panel meeting.
Next, we have tab 7, a proposal from Milgard Manufacturing LLC. They are a first-time contractor requesting $411,600 to train 420 workers. Training will take place at Milgard's 3 locations in Sacramento, Simi Valley, and Temecula. A representative from Milgard Manufacturing is present to answer any questions.
Good morning. I'm Dennis McCoy, plant controller for Milgard Sacramento. We produce roughly about 3,600 windows a day. within the state of California, and we ship into also Colorado and Utah. We're looking to make sure that as we do our capital expenditures, that we can still maintain the same level of employment that we have, and the training will offset that to make sure as we bring in new employees that are dealing with glass and moving equipment, that we can make sure that the windows that are sitting in your house actually stay there.
It's always a good thing. All right. Does anyone on the panel have any questions? Go ahead.
Could you talk to me about the wage progression of your production staff? They're receiving this training, and I can see a significant number of them, 153, are put into the category of being compensated between $20.01 to 25. And then the next category up, there's 75, they're in the over 25.01. So for those that are in the 20 to 25, how soon can they anticipate seeing wage progression combined with this training?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your question. So all employees start off as a level 1. Somewhere between 60 to 90 days, they have the opportunity, not that they always progress there, to move to level 2, which is an automatic $1 increase. Somewhere between right around 15 months after they've been hired, they have the option of moving to level 3, which is an additional $2 increase. So it's all based on their performance and what they're doing. And that's part of the training, because we need to make sure that you actually, once you hit a level 3, then you can become a lead, then you can move to a supervisor, then you can move into a manager. So it's a complete structure that we have set up.
To clarify, you said they have an option to move, but
when I say option, it's based on their performance. I apologize.
Is it automatic then when they achieve the performance level?
For the most part, yes. So we don't cap levels, if that makes sense. So if we had all level 3s, we'd be drastically happy, but that's never the case. So we're not going to move someone up because we're at a cap on level 2 or level 3, if that makes sense. Your cap more so comes with your leads, because you can't have everybody as a lead. It just doesn't work in manufacturing.
If I hear that right, they're able to progress. We're not capping that you only have 23s and 152s, for example.
Correct.
You're allowing them to progress.
They
as
progress
complete.
based on their performance.
Thank you.
So there is no stop. If you're performing well, you're going to move up, is the simplest way of putting it.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0132 in the amount of $411,600.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments online.
And there's none in the room, so we will move to vote.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Kirsten Browski, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye. Okay, so we're all in favor, so the motion's adopted.
Great. I appreciate your time and thank you all.
Thank you, panel. Tab 8 is a proposal from Paul Baker Printing, Inc. They are a first-time contractor requesting $283,080 to train 163 workers, including 12 new employees. Training will take place at Paul Baker's 2 locations in Sacramento. A representative from Paul Baker Printing is present to answer any questions.
Morning. Thank you for your consideration today. My name is Chantel Newton and I'm the general manager. We are a print and mail and technology service company. We ensure that dollars that are spent in California stay in California through our manufacturing and technology services that we offer.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions on the proposal? No. All right, so if there's no questions.
Motion to approve the Paul Baker Printing, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $283,080.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment?
No public comments online.
None in the room, so we will move to vote.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy, Kristen Browski, and Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye. So we all voted in favor, so the motion is adopted. You're funded. Good luck.
Very much.
Thank you, panel. Tab 9 is a proposal from JVS SoCal. They are a repeat contractor requesting $545,992 to train 139 new hires. Training will take place at JVS SoCal's training center in Los Angeles. A representative from JVS SoCal is present to answer any questions.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, panel members. My name is Julian Hampton, and I'm the Director of Career Training for JVS SoCal. We're a successful repeat contractor providing services to low and moderate income neighborhoods at no cost to our participants. Our program for this contract are in the banking and financial services industry, apartment maintenance, and office administration training positions. Our goal is to set up our participants to obtain sustainable wages to support their families that are in poverty, underemployed, or unemployed. Thanks to the extraordinary support of the Employment Training Panel, we're able to not only train these individuals for their careers, but provide supportive services, provide job placement, and assistance with post-employment job coaching so we can have retention met. We were before the panel last month, and the panel graciously allowed us to table the proposal till this month. And we're pleased to say that through a lot of hard work, we're able to move up to 88% earnings. So glad to take any questions from you.
Thank you. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions from the panel?
Welcome back. I wasn't here last time.
Thank you.
She's gonna blame me.
No, but I did want to have a discussion with you about wage progression.
Yes.
For specifically the maintenance and repair worker, there's 16 that are in the range of $17.44 an hour to $20 an hour. And then there's another range and another range. Talk to me about how they progress in their wages and how soon they would be able to see an increase from the $17.44 up towards the next one.
I would say within a year, looking at our numbers, the 12-month wage progression is $1.43. So you'd be able to see that at the end of those 12 months. So it happens pretty rapidly in the industry.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about your job placement and kind of career opportunities and how you're guiding this cohort of workers?
For all of the programs? Sure.
Just generally speaking, that would be helpful.
Generally speaking, our focus is to train them not only on the specifics of the job, but also essential skills. So they have the professionalism, the etiquette, the business understanding, so they can be not only successful on the job, but successful in life. So we want to prepare them and set them up for overall success. And we want to prepare them for success when they're in the job. So we follow up with them consistently, up to a year, many times far longer. We have individuals that have graduated that come back to speak to the classes so they can inspire new groups of individuals to be successful. Now we're getting to a place where we have graduates that are in management hiring students into their companies. So a lot of great things are happening with our programs.
Just for the record, you are a nonprofit organization.
We are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other questions from the panel or comments? No?
Motion to approve JVS SoCal and an ETP funding amount of $545,992.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments online?
No public comment online.
No one's running up to the podium, so it looks like we could move to vote.
Becca Bettencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Kirsten Browski. And Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So we all approved, so you are funded at the full amount.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You'll please turn to tab 10. Tab 10 is a proposal from California Institute of Arts and Technology, Inc. CIAT would be a first-time contractor requesting $838,600 to train a total of 140 retrainees. California Institute of Arts and Technology will partner with their participating employers to deliver training at their location statewide. Representatives from the California Institute of Arts and Technology are present to answer any questions from the panel.
Good morning, panelists. My name is Kara Sturdivant, and I am the Academic Partnerships Manager. I have here with me Kirsten Barrera, our VP of Strategy and Analytics, and Claire Park, our VP of Compliance. And we represent California Institute of Applied Technology. We specialize in high-quality IT training and certification programs designed to upskill businesses, increasing productivity and driving growth. We're very honored to be here today. This opportunity will help us support more California-based businesses, further supporting the state's economy, and we're happy to answer any questions you have.
All right, thank you. Does the panel have any questions? I want one clarification because I don't know if my hearing's going or if what's in front of me. The 130 panel packet shows California Institute of Arts and Technology, Inc. And I just heard California Institute of Applied Technology.
Yes, my apologies. We are in the process of a name change to reflect our applied technology focus. It's not quite finalized, and our analyst recommends we do the revision once it's finalized.
Okay, I just wanted to check that we were talking about the right company and the right panel packet in front of me. So that's good. Okay, I'm going to move it to the panel for any questions or comments that they may have on this proposal.
Yes, thank you. Mike has first.
Go, you're at it together at the same time.
Sorry, just a clarification about, I understand you train around the state, but also see you have a facility in National City. I was curious on what you do in National City versus the rest, how you do the training in the rest of the state.
Excellent question. So our training is virtual live training by our instructors who are experts in the field. And then we can also perform the training at our campus in National City. Right now, we're primarily virtual, but we have the space available for employers that would prefer the in-person training.
Some people like fly to National City,
No.
but just local folks that.
Local folks, yes.
Clarification, please. You are a for-profit private college, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you have what's before me, an average cost per trainee of $5,990, which is very much on the high end for what we usually pay per trainee. I need some elaboration on why it's so high.
Absolutely. Yes, our cost per trainee is based on 200 hours, which is the average of our trainees completing a 4-month comprehensive training program that not only teaches them hands-on skills that they're going to use in the job right away, but also prepares them for up to 4 industry certifications, which will support wage progression.
How many students do you currently have? Not the trainees included in here.
Answer that. We have slightly over 1,700 students today.
And of the 1,700, approximately how many are located in National City?
We have about 30% that are located throughout the state of California. And local to the National City area, I would say 10%.
This one is a little difficult for me. I took the liberty of, since you're located in my backyard of National City and I'm a resident of San Diego, to looking a little bit more into, because I'd never heard about this institute before. Recognizing that it is a private for-profit college, I started digging around a little bit deeper. I'm aware of the amount of student debt that is incurred by your students. There is a nuance to this where I need you to elaborate for me on your connection to the employers listed that you are going to be training, because one such, Lockheed Martin, was in the room today and was not aware of you. And the other ones that you've listed, it's between small and very, very large corporations. Talk to me about the connection to them and how, because it's a little odd that for each one of them, you're listing 5 trainees. So every single time. And so that looks a little strange.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer. So this being our first contract, we have a network of employers that we work with in a variety of ways, as far as placing our students, employers that complete surveys to make sure that our curriculum is up to date. And in conversations with our employers, we listed the ones that were most excited about this opportunity. And the number 5, we have employers that are interested in more than 5 trainees, obviously. And so this is how we calculated to fit in the total amount. We're projecting to have employers, not only the ones listed, but even more. We're going to continuously market to employers. And so we're projecting to finish this contract quicker because the need is so great.
So for the trainees listed here, you can't charge them tuition or anything. I'm aware of how much you charge the other students. But there's an uncomfortableness specifically because since I looked you up, I'm also being targeted by your ads online that are very much following me around and offering 50% discount off of your training. And for a few tens of thousands of dollars, I too could go and pursue a certificate with you. So I don't want to see these trainees being funneled into those very high cost programs in order for those trainees to complete a certificate. And that's what it kind of looks like here, that as being a for-profit private college, it looks almost like you're making money off of public dollars.
The trainees that are completing these training programs are going to do it at absolutely no cost to them. Our in-kind contribution is well over 50%. Our trainees receive build your own computer kits, networking kits, unlimited tutoring, unlimited attempts to pass their certifications, no matter how many times it takes. And so there's no plan to funnel these trainees into additional programs. These comprehensive programs are designed to be completed and not need to be repeated.
I think I want to build on something that was talked about with the numbers and the employers. This is, and full transparency, this is the first time contract. It's a large sum being awarded if successful. So 835,000 is a lot of money. There's a lot of, I'm going to say red tape within ETP for what you need to collect, submit, the employers understanding what they need versus what do you need to ensure that you get the full funding. Can you help me better understand? So the fives and the fives do feel a bit suspect that every employer is five. So when I think about the needs analysis done, have I really had these good conversations? How are you setting yourself and your employers up for success that I'm just going to use company A thinks they're going to would like more than five, but they've got five at the moment, but they send you 10 as an example, I think in my head, because you said some of them may want more. How are you ensuring that you're successful they know what's expected of them very clearly for the funding and that whole process of that linkage of employer relations?
Sure, it's a relationship. So we're meeting with our employers to understand what their specific needs are. And then we're recommending the pathway that best supports their needs. They're not going to be limited to five. Being the first time contract, this was how I put the numbers down, but we're going to support our employer partners with whatever needs they have. And then when our contract is complete, we hope to come back to be able to help more supporters.
So how are you articulating I'm going to say the requirements for ETP funding? So retention, data collection, all of the bits that are required for that funding to make sure those employers are clear. Because I think sometimes this is, one of your concerns, isn't it, around what happens if the employee leaves, or how are we making sure you're getting yourself the funding that's being requested so you are successful? We see this in every contract, but in particular with multiple employers, and how is that outreach really helping? How are we partnering to ensure success on a large contract of the dollars we're looking at?
Yeah, so we have the staff and the technical infrastructure to support automated reporting for a contract like this. And of course, we don't expect it to go perfectly, but we really do work one-on-one with our employers the whole way through the contract. So if there's an employee that leaves and is not able to get approved for the funding, then we'll receive another employee to train.
I just have one point of clarification. So I'm looking through the list of employers, and are you saying that you have over 28? Are you saying you backed into that number by taking 140 and divided by 5? Is that why you listed it that way?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
So, yeah, I'm assuming you did a demand analysis of some sort for these certifications and training programs. Can you speak to that a little bit more about what you've discovered, and if there is a high demand, what is it?
Yes, would you like
Yeah,
to?
absolutely.
Great question. So we have our dedicated career services department who actually researches the demand of our IT certifications, the need of the certain programs that we offer. So based on our research and we get our stats from Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the growth from average is usually 5 to 7%. However, the specific certifications that we're offering, the jobs, we're looking at about 14%. So there's a significant job demand related to these certifications and the programs that we're offering.
The highest demand certification today?
We have, very good question. So we have the Security Plus CompTIA, which is kind of leads to the cybersecurity realm. So cybersecurity is and networking is also very high in demand currently.
For CompTIA Security Plus, I can see that you've listed on your website that it requires a prior cert of a Net Plus. So you're receiving that information from the employer, which
correct
ones would be. And then for a student that is not going through, or a trainee that is not going through the ETP funded training, how much is that CompTIA Security Plus certification?
Our tuition ranges, so it will be $24.40 for just a specific CompTIA, and we have divided into part 1 and part 2. So we have the hands-on skills, the lab involved. So we were charging $24.40 per class for CompTIA or any IT classes.
Other comments, questions? No. All right, so no more comments, questions. Do I have a motion?
I'm not comfortable with this one.
I know you're
I'm
not.
sorry.
That's
really
why I'm
not.
asking if you've got anything else.
It's not proven to me that there's a road to the high wage jobs, the connection to the employer. I'm very nervous about the fact that this is a for-profit private college, and I can see the amount of student debt accumulated by the students in their college, and the risk of the optics of having a for-profit private college making money off of this does not sit well with me.
I see, sorry, am I able to?
Absolutely.
So our cohort default rate is at 0%. This is very different from other universities possibly, but you guys could check the rate of Department of Education, the loans you mentioned about the debt. We're at 0%. So the tuition that we're offering and the programs and the job that they're getting at the end of the program is way above the normal average nationwide range. So our tuition cost versus the job salary at the end of the program supersedes, and our default rate is 0%.
The default rate on the loans that they take out?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't.
Can I make one final comment? I know there's a lot of scrutiny, especially right now in for-profit institutions. So I'll just acknowledge that. We are a team of very passionate higher education professionals that believes that education today should directly give back to the skills that are needed into the workforce. We strongly believe in ways to innovate and to bring a positive ROI to the investment that students are making in their education. Investment is not just dollars, it's also time. One of the unique aspects of CIAT is our unlimited IT industry certification policy. This is something that not a single other training institution or college has come close to, and it signifies the investment that we make into our student success. Each one of these exams, which are demanded by employers, are hundreds of dollars a piece for an individual student. Oftentimes what we see in these cases, students are often afraid to get started. They're afraid to attempt 2, 3, or 4 because they're challenging. They're very difficult, and they're meant to keep the industry, very, very elusive.
We believe that the only way to fail is to give up. And going in with that message that we are investing in our student success as much as our students are investing in their own education is where CIAT was founded. And we've held on to that mission from, day one all the way through today. We believe that this proposal and this opportunity is going to allow us to further strengthen all of our employer connections and ensure that we are continually meeting the evolving demands of the IT workforce. Things are changing daily. So each of the certifications from the CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, Cisco CCNA, the Microsoft Cloud certifications, all paired to different levels of skills of IT professionals, all the way from entry-level IT support technicians through network administrators, all the way up to our very high in-demand cloud certification expertise. So just wanted to leave with that comment.
Thank you. Did you have something, Matt?
I always have something.
I know, you looked at me just before that, so I'm like, is there something?
Correct. And nothing substantively, just a little gentle procedural guidance that there are certain times where we have a proposal that comes up where questions, concerns, unknowns sometimes come about in the discussion and we field the ball accordingly. So sometimes there's a a motion to table it for another time for a little bit more inquiry. Sometimes there's a motion to deny. Sometimes there's a motion to approve, but I'm just trying to give some guidance to your request for a call for motion.
Yeah.
Just for the benefit of everybody, a
silence.
little bit of leveling here on the discussion, but there's different alternatives that we can take.
Thank you.
We see a lot of applicants come through throughout the years, and that cost per trainee is really extremely high. It's just kind of hard for me to, wrap my head around. Have you guys explored ways of reducing that cost per trainee?
Yeah, part of the in-kind contributions that CIAT is making is the remainder of all of the tuition costs, the technical equipment we are taking on ourselves for any of these students, our take-home, build your own computer kits, our networking kits, the industry certification exam costs. So even with this cost per trainee, more for us represents the number of hours that student is going through or that employee is going through for a very comprehensive 20-week program with an average of 10 hours of live instruction per week, in addition to double, if not more, amount of hours to complete the program.
To me, this one's is very tricky because if we don't approve this amount, it's likely that some of those students won't get the opportunity to get these jobs. At the same time, this is a very high number for a first-time contractor. And so I'm thinking maybe test it with a lower number for the first time out.
We've already put a structure into place to gather not only the employee's feedback, but the success of that employee, as well as the direct feedback from every employer going through that program. And we'd love to bring those not only stories, but data back to show the actual results of these employees retaining their jobs and increasing in tiers, responsibilities, and employment opportunities within the places that they work. And we're very confident in our ability to support that on a very positive note.
And the wage progression too, please. Because I can see a significant number of them are in the range of 20.05 an hour to 25. And for an IT support technician, when you're telling me that if a student of yours incurs all this federal debt, that they will be able to pay it off, I don't think folks can pay off a substantial amount of student debt earning $20 an hour. So
what the progression of that, one of the great things about the IT industry, and especially the values of the industry certifications, is it provides the employer a third-party validation and a reason to help an employee move up through the levels. So we have students today, we have employers that we've already spoken with that have created different tiers. So let's take an IT support technician, level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4, senior levels, the journey from an IT support technician up to a network technician, up to a cybersecurity analyst, et cetera. Each of those progressions through different titles are often met with benchmarks that the employee needs to receive. So those benchmarks from employers are typically skills and or industry certifications that they've earned.
I'm going to make a comment, Gretchen, on yours on wages. healthcare is being used to meet post-retention.
I see that, and that makes me even more uncomfortable.
So I guess I'm going to look to say, what do people want to do? Are we? I think, so what I lean on here on the wage piece is Gretchen has a point about high road wages. Looking at the IT industry, we're seeing a wage range for a lot of these at $20 to $25. You're adding in a healthcare wage retention to get to post-retention of $22.55. I think the feeling and consensus, I don't want to speak for panel totally, is that 20 for an IT worker feels low. And there's a lot of jobs in those categories that are sitting at that wage.
But combined with the cost per trainee being $5,990, and we frequently have so many other proposals where one, they're paying more in their wages, and two, the cost per trainee is much less. And they're still providing certifications.
If I may, the healthcare benefit was recommended to be added in. We do not expect to need that. And the 20 to 25 is a minimum wage of 24 for the entry level. And when we worked up the numbers, it's very easy for us to increase the amount of trainees. The way that we have it structured now gives the most comprehensive up to 4 certifications, but we can double the trainees, therefore reducing the training time. Still providing a comprehensive training program of up to 2 industry certifications.
And I just, having twice seen 2 attempts at a call for motion, I just wanted to point out 2 more things. A failure to move is deemed a rejection of the proposal, so we would be submitting a statement of decision of denial. And then second, to Member Hill's point, is right sizing is an option too. So there is availability. We also have done discussions and had amendments and agreement in the record for changing or modifying the application or proposal. So there are tools in the toolbox available to you.
Yeah, I don't really want a failure to move as I look at everyone, because that is the worst case, but.
Rebecca, did I hear you correctly say that you would come back with some more information? Or did I misinterpret that?
Be happy to come back and show the results and the success and the wage progression.
Okay. And
absolutely.
Also be able to bring back the types of jobs that people find, because I know in IT industry, there's a bunch of different types of jobs. And so these certifications may help them get the entry level job, but depends on what job they actually get, so.
I'm going to make a motion to table this and have this returned to us, have this worked out a little bit more with a sharper pencil. I want to see a lower cost per trainee. I want to see for the cost per trainee, what those trainees are getting, what kind of certifications, the number of hours that they're doing. I also want to see the wage progression. And if you're telling me that the baseline minimum wage is 24, I want to see an updated proposal that reflects that without the use of the healthcare cost to meet the post-retention wage. And until I see that, I'm not satisfied.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments online?
No public comments online.
And any in the room? So we will go to vote, please.
Becca Bancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Kristen Broski.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So the motion is adopted to table and come back at a later date with some of the recommendations that have been asked by panel within that proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I've just looked at the time and been reminded as well. We had on an agenda for a 10:45 break. I do not think we'll get through another proposal before that. So it is 10:42. Every clock is different. I'm going by that one because then I can see it. That one's even different at the back. It's all, it hurts my head. They're a minute different, 2 minutes different. Can't do it. Okay, I'm going to go by that clock. And we're taking 15, correct? So we're taking a 15-minute break starting at 10:42. We'll see you back shortly. Mine, yeah. All right, we are going to get back to this as 15 minutes flies by, but we're also flying through this meeting. So we want to get through these remaining proposals and hopefully get everyone out by lunch, but who knows? I'll try. I can't promise. All right. I'm going back to staff.
Panel members, if you will please turn to tab 11. Tab 11 is a proposal from Chaffey Community College District, Chaffey College. Chaffey College is a repeat contractor requesting $569,880 to train a total of 355 retrainees. Chaffey College will coordinate with participating employers to deliver training at their locations statewide. This would be the college's sixth contract in the past 5 years. Representatives from Chaffey College are present to answer any questions from the panel.
Good morning to the panel. My name is Preeti Talwar. I'm Director of Strategic Projects at Chaffey College. This is my colleague, Carlos Lecarica. He is our Training Development Specialist. We both would really like to thank the panel for considering our proposal.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions on this proposal?
I do. So for job number 2, you have an average cost per trainee of $7,188 for 25 of the trainees. In the previous job description under job number 1, it's only $1,198. I can see some of the narrative that you've presented as to why these 25 individuals are so much more, but I need you to really elaborate on that because it's a huge amount.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for that question. We had responded to an employer need identified some years ago to create a training program for intermediate to advanced maintenance technicians. This was a 472-hour training program, and we had it approved on previous contracts. The previous 4 contracts had approved this. We found it to be very successful, and quite a few numbers of trainees had gone through that. So the average cost on the previous contracts was actually lower because the number of trainees was actually higher that were going through this. We did do a discussion with our employers last year where we've tried to optimize this program. We've cut down those hours to about 420 while still maintaining the integrity of the program. But we also did that because we realized there were fewer trainees being funneled, or our projections were fewer. So the average cost is higher because of that. But the success of the program and how important it is to employers stays the same.
So great on the success of the program. Love that. But I'm not seeing the wage progression that might be demonstrative of somebody going through a much more intensive set of training, receiving hopefully certifications in that, and then seeing their wages progress much higher. And it shows on here the same wages for jobs number 1 and 3, even though these subset of individuals, 25, are receiving a lot more training. So where's the disconnect of that?
Our wage range is pretty high that you'll see, and that's because the training programs that we are focused on in the advanced manufacturing sector over the last couple of years have really specialized. We have much more robotics and automation in them. So the top end of those positions are at a much higher salary than the lower end. So our wage range is high. But on your question on wage progression, we actually did a random sampling recently for graduates from that program, and we did find a significant increase in wages. We would like to actually track the data with a little bit more focus coming up, and we're working on software for that.
If you come back for next time, I'd really want to see that. That would be very valuable to me to see.
Any other questions?
Just to clarify, this conversation you were just having, does that apply to the maintenance staff and industrial electrical technician roles?
Yes.
The salaries go up to $80. So somewhere, what you're saying is that typically they would be higher?
The medium range for occupations that our programs train for is actually in the advanced manufacturing industry. It's a 29 an hour, but in the region, it's 21 an hour. So it's substantially more than what the region's living wage is. But as I mentioned, there are a few positions and few jobs within that occupation that are very specialized. And so therefore that range is high at 80 an hour.
But you're seeing the
That's not
majority of your
average.
trainees are
Yes.
more in that 29, not in that 80.
Yes,
Okay.
job order 1 and job order 3.
Any other comments,
You,
questions?
if you don't mind, Chair.
No, absolutely.
You have another contract out with us right now. It's open and, but it's for the literacy project.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that you have 0 number of trainees that have successfully completed the literacy project and your earnings are 0. Since you're here before us right now, I'd like to take the opportunity to ask what is going on there and can we see if that's going to be successful?
Yes. We did get a slow start to the literacy contract, and we've just recently recalibrated and re-looked at our marketing outreach to employers. And we have realized in the last 2 months that we've started gaining momentum. We actually launched a couple of trainings in the month of August. I believe the number of hours is right now at about 240, so it's not 0, but we are seeing that momentum pick up. And we are very optimistic that we'll be able to do well on this contract, including we've had discussions with ETP analysts, responded to surveys. We've been introduced to the 2 companies that have been doing well, organizations that have been doing well and getting best practices from them. So all of that has been useful.
For the record, you are a public community college.
That's correct.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Chaffey Community College District or Chaffey College in an ETP funding amount of $569,880.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment online?
No public comments online.
I'm not seeing any in the room, so we will move to vote.
Rebecca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Kristen Browski, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Ready, so the motion was adopted and you guys are funded.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You'll please turn to tab 12. Tab 12 is a proposal from Riverside Community College District. Riverside CCD is a repeat contractor requesting $472,468 to train a total of 404 retrainees. Riverside CCD will coordinate with their participating employers to deliver training at their locations in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. This would be the college's 3rd contract in the last 5 years. Representative from Riverside Community College District is present to answer any questions from the panel.
Morning, panel. I'm with Riverside Community College District. My name is Jason Kennedy. I'm the Director of Workforce and Economic Development Projects. We also have our training subcontractor here.
Yep. John Fox from San Bernardino Community College District. We're the neighboring community college district to Riverside.
We are a public community college district with a 3-college district, including Riverside City College, Moreno Valley College, and Norco College in the Inland Empire region of Riverside, San Bernardino counties. And we're here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
It's a bit unique that you've partnered together with another community college. And I apologize, I haven't had the chance to go and refresh myself to see if there is another contract with the San Bernardino counterpart. Is there? There is, isn't there?
Yes,
There
yes,
is.
we currently have an open core contract.
Okay, so I'm struggling a little bit right now with how to allot this amount to you, knowing that you're going to be kind of influencing and taking from that amount and supplementing the amount that you already awarded on your side. So that partnership, I need a little bit better understanding. I appreciate that you're a public, nonprofit community college, but that does strike me as a little bit odd. So
Sure. I'm fairly new to the position. I've been in it less than a year, so this is the first time that I'm working with ETP. We've had some significant turnover from our previous directors and deans, and so we're looking at this as like a mentorship program, working with San Bernardino Community College District. They're really going to be showing us the ropes initially, and we'll be beginning and take on more and more responsibility, particularly in the 2nd year of the contract. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the panel?
Say more about the partner. How does this partnership work?
Absolutely. So both Riverside Community College District and San Bernardino Community College District are part of a statewide collaborative of community colleges. So we all network together. We refer to ourselves collectively as the Upskill California. And we do try to support each other whenever there's a need. In this particular instance, because San Bernardino is a neighbor to Riverside, Riverside reached out and asked if we could come in and, as Jason alluded to, mentor them through this process. So at the early stages of the contract, we will be doing the administration, the outreach to employers, even scheduling training, delivering some of that. And then over time, walking Jason through how to do that, handing those responsibilities off, as well as helping him to connect with local employers there in the Riverside area.
You also have curriculum that Riverside doesn't have?
The curriculum should actually be identical between the two, because Riverside will be contracting with San Bernardino to deliver any of the curriculum requested by employers.
So I'm hearing more than just contract administration. I'm just checking here. There is also a partnership where you are delivering training on behalf of Riverside through San Bernardino.
Yes, that's correct.
So this is where it gets blurry, I guess. And you've got your contract administrator hat on, that is San Bernardino Community College District are going to be the contract administrator, but also there's a piece of the contract that you're actually going to be delivering training as per like a vendor.
Yes, yes, and we are listed in the contract as a training vendor with potential costs of training being up to 40% of the reimbursement rate.
Okay. I'm just hoping you have it in your own contract systems of who's doing which bit and how you're managing it. And hopefully it's not all in one of the subcontractors one. Because as a subcontractor, that's not allowed, correct? As I'm
Yes,
looking over
we
at
were advised by our analyst and by the regional manager to do a separate contract with Riverside to go over those parts of the agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Mean that a particular student could be in both contracts?
They would not be able to concurrently enroll. They could not. There's a concurrent enrollment not issues. It's not allowed because of concurrent enrollment. So they'd be in one or other in that sense. Unless for some reason San Bernardino's closes theirs earlier, then they then could go into this contract. So they can't be concurrently in two active, if that helps. Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0130 in the amount of $472,468.
Second.
All right, so do we have any public comment online?
No public comments online.
Any public comment in the room? We do not, so we will move to vote.
Becca Bencourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Kristen Browski. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
All right, so we were all in approval, so the motion is adopted.
Panel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have tab 13, a proposal from Murrieta Chamber of Commerce. They are a repeat contractor requesting $848,799 to train 567 trainees. Training will take place at the participating employers' work sites throughout California. A representative from Murrieta Chamber of Commerce is present to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel. Patrick Ellis. I'm, excuse me, President and CEO of the Murrieta Chamber of Commerce. Great to be back in front of you again. I'm going to preempt, I think, a question that's coming at me because I think it's actually appropriate right after my counterparts and my neighbor. The healthcare contract that we have, it shows 0 right now. Part of that was as chairman of the board for the Riverside County Workforce Development Board, my goal has been to try and increase more participation in ETP from different entities. Riverside Community Colleges is now getting back into it. I have been trying to get MSJC, who's in my backyard, more engaged in the process, have been trying to get them to be our training partner for the healthcare program. It's been very challenging to get to this point. The bureaucracy that they have to go through to get everything there. We're still working with them to get there. But in the meantime, in the last couple of months, I've shifted and started to engage the entities that are within that contract directly. So Kaiser Permanente, Loma Linda University Medical Center, Rady Children's Hospital. And we're in the process of setting up dates right now to begin training with them to engage so that we make sure that the contract starts moving. So I just thought it was very appropriate timing wise with where I came up.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions on this proposal?
It strikes me as this is a significant jump for you for the amount of funding being requested. It's almost double. And I need a little bit more comfort on that because we have so much demand right now and that this is practically doubling what you've received last time. So I don't know, kind of asking the panel, like, are all of you comfortable?
I think thank you for addressing the healthcare one before any one of us said, where are we on healthcare in that amount? That's a fairly large sum. We look at, yes, we've met 75%, but our last couple have been in the 80%. So I look at, I think where your discomfort is as well, is I'm looking at healthcare that feels like it's kind of moving from what you've just said towards tracking to a positive. The last contract was 80%. The contract before that was 81% at about 50 to 60% of the award that we're looking at in this one. So I think it's really just understanding how are you setting yourself up for success for the 800,000 versus the 4 to 450 that you've had in the last couple of contracts. So that we're not looking at this in a year or when healthcare comes to close, which is slightly longer than a year, but seeing, oh, hang on, we're having the same issue with healthcare, or we're at the 50% mark, not the 80 or plus mark of the nearly 800,000 or the 800,000 that's being asked for. Does that make sense?
Yes. And actually, yeah, we're currently our contract right now is at just over 80% in the system. We actually have training completed at around the 98% right now. We've had some challenges in the last few weeks with inputting the rosters and getting them kicked back to us at, like, not saying, putting in 200,000 and then it kicking back saying only 100 is, and then so we have to go to what's taking what should be taking a couple hours is taking a couple of weeks. So we're challenged with that and we're working through that process right now. So we should get to that point. The other part is that under this contract, the demand is so high. About 90% of the employers under this contract are brand new employers for us completely.
So I think it's about how are you building those relationships with those employers to understand, for them, to understand what's required of them and you, and for the conditions of success, very similar to we asked someone else this earlier about how are you building that relationship to ensure that everyone knows what's needed, retention periods, etc. Because I don't know, I think where you're going as well is it feels a bit uncomfortable in performance that this is double the amount nearly of some. We haven't hit 100% in the last two core funded. They've been in the 80s, which is still good performance. Don't get me wrong. But like, how are you really bolstering that performance or that partnership to really be able to say, I'm confident that I can meet double of what we've had in the past 3 contracts, for example?
Yeah, actually, I think the contract before the one before that was 700,000, but I believe.
That was back in 2019, 21.
But yeah, part of my role obviously is meeting with a lot of the different companies that we're talking about, whether it's through my role on workforce development, whether it's through the chamber, whether it's through the work that we're doing in kind of the life sciences, biotech fields. And that's what I do almost on a daily basis. I'm out there banging the drum for ETP on a regular basis. And having those conversations of what it takes to get through it. And that's some of them don't work out, right? Those conversations take place and they don't have the patience for it or the wherewithal to execute them. And therefore we just keep moving down the road to the next one.
Okay, any other questions, comments? I would just see a calculator in Gretchen's hand. That always gives me a bit of a nervousness.
Gives me
Something
some
going on in the
nervousness
head.
too, but
Me, Barry Menzel with Training Funding Source. The ET22 shows at 95% completion, according to my notes here.
I can confirm that amount. Looking at the performance based on submitted invoices, the ET2 is tracking at 95% as well.
And that's where the approved amount was 598,000.
That is correct.
Okay. So I feel that a more appropriate amount to right size this based off of the demand that we heard about earlier, so much demand for this, I would feel more comfortable of allowing for some growth, but not an excessive amount of growth. So I would be more comfortable with approving an ETP funding amount of 600,000 than the doubling that's proposed. I haven't made a motion yet because I want to see what others say.
It's a bit under, isn't it, doubling? Because they were, if this last one was 586, 8 something is not quite, but
Right,
yeah.
but they haven't reached the 100%, so.
Excuse me, panel members. I just want to confirm that from staff's perspective, can we have the ability to go up to 600,000? So that way we can manipulate the numbers. Just wanted to confirm that.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Manipulate the numbers. You know, she's pulling a random number out of a hat on a calculator. We'll let you manipulate the numbers to be close, isn't it? Yeah.
I wondered if it was possible to maybe, if we need to right size the healthcare one, because the demand is there here for this contract.
Need to look at staff on that one. If they wanted to right size healthcare, that's a completely different contract in question.
It's not on the agenda today.
It's not on the agenda.
Correct. Yeah, that's.
I would
a
have to come back.
Separate conversation if we wanted to do that.
Yeah, you can't
That's a
do
completely
that.
separate conversation, isn't it, on that
Yeah, I
perspective?
just was, this one, the demand is there. These are companies just ready to go, and we don't want to make sure to have to drop anyone out.
Mhm.
I'd be willing to go to 640.
I'm comfortable with that.
You know, come like 640s or 650.
700?
I love this
I
price
feel like
is
the
right.
auctioneer today, yeah.
I am looking at demand though, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the Marietta Chamber of Commerce in an ETP revised funding amount of up to 640,000.
Second.
Do I have any public comment?
No public comment online.
Any in the room? All right, we will move to a vote.
Becca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Kirsten Browski, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
All right, so the motion was adopted to the adjusted fund. And I would recommend reaching out to your analyst regarding the healthcare one and having a discussion there.
Great.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, panel members. Did you miss me? It's been a while.
We're gonna miss you.
I'm sure not everyone. Please turn to tab 14. This is a project for California Plumbing and Mechanical Contractors Association. They are requesting, they're a repeat contractor requesting approximately $625,356 to serve 522 retrainees. Some of the trainees included in this proposal are represented by Southern California Pipe Trades District Council 16. This includes both journey workers and foremen, as you will see in the training plan. They have submitted a letter of support for this project. And here representing the organization is Michelle Lynn, Director of Special Projects.
Hi, good morning, panel members. Again, my name is Michelle Lynn. I am the Director of Special Projects for CPMCA. I've been with ETP for the last 4 contracts with CPMCA, so thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate the partnership. With me, I have our consultant, Latimer Batat. We're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
I appreciate the high wages and the wage progression. I can see it. Thank you very much for that. And I just want it for the record, your proposal does not include any apprentices, which are going to be reviewed next month.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0118 in the amount of $625,356.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comments?
No public comments online.
And online, and I don't see anyone running up to the front, so we will move to vote.
Becca Bettencourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Kristen Browski. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
So the motion was adopted. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have tab 15, an ETP Agriculture Initiative proposal from AgForce LLC. They are a repeat contractor requesting $132,000 to train 110 workers. Training will take place at AgForce's location in Fresno. A representative from AgForce is present to answer any questions.
Good morning. My name is Brett Zoll. I appreciate your time and consideration today. We're an ag services supply company. Our last contract, we achieved 100%, which was focused on training for unskilled laborers getting through COVID at the time. This contract will focus on upskilling English as a second language, continuous improvement and achieving wage progression.
Thank you. Does the panel have any questions?
It's been a little while since I've seen you. Last time I asked about a specific lawsuit and a settlement. I understand that this entity is also subject to that. If you would like to elaborate a little bit, you did an excellent job of pointing out that that was long ago.
Yes.
And that there has been management changes.
Yes.
To prevent any of that occurring. Has that also occurred with AgForce?
Yes, 100%. There's been management changes. I was hired in 2020. Just like with the other entity, with this entity, we do a third-party wage and hour audit every year, spending 10 to 20,000 on that. And then also we have a 24/7 800 confidential phone line that any of our employees can call. We have multiple HR representatives and field liaisons in the field, virtually every day that any employee with any issue, including a payroll issue, can contact someone to get that fixed.
In English and Spanish too.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
For the farm worker wages, can you talk to me a little bit about wage progression connected to the training that they're receiving? So
Yeah,
if they start off at $16.91 an hour up to 25, how are they progressing along?
Yeah. So, once they're trained with continuous improvement and computer skills and literacy training, they can move into other roles, in the office, like planning, supply chain, maintenance, move up quickly from the entry-level positions that are harvesting.
The majority of your trainees at the farm worker category
Yes.
are being compensated in the $15 to $20 an hour. So it's really $16.91 to $20 an hour. Of the 80, how many of them are on the higher end of that range versus the very low end at $16.91?
Probably over 50-60% are on the higher end. Yes.
I would just like to thank you because I know that especially in certain areas and with that type of work, it's difficult.
Yes.
And I appreciate that there's a progression for wages and the
Yes.
training is huge and important.
I
So
appreciate that.
there
And
has to be
I
a
do want
pathway.
to note one other thing that's very unique to our company. I think really unique for any ag company in California. We have a medical clinic that's free for all our farm workers and their family that they can go. It's a full service medical clinic. And that's something that the family that owns the company feels real strongly about doing for our employees and their family members.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I applaud you for putting in the anonymous hotline. But my question is, who administers it? Is it?
Yes, it is administered by my department, the HR department. Yeah, so no one in operations management. It's HR.
Okay, that concerns me a little bit. Oftentimes we hire external entities to do this. So because the internal people can be influenced.
Well, I hear you. The person that is responsible for the 800 number, it's my director of HR. She's a very ethical person. Yes, she's in management, but feels strongly about our employees and the hourly employees. And the bottom line, especially with wage and hour, is we want to pay the employees correctly. And if we don't, it's going to cost the company a lot of money. So it's very important to me as the head of HR to pay our employees correctly. So we take it very seriously.
Any other questions, comments?
Motion to approve contract number ET 25-0134 in the amount of $132,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Or an echo again in chorus. Okay, and do we have any public comment online?
No public comments online.
And any public comment in the room? All right, we will move to vote.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Kirsten Browski, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Right, so the motion's adopted and you are funded.
Thank you, panel. I
You're
appreciate your time.
Tab 16 is an ETP Agricultural Initiative proposal from Blue Diamond Growers. They are a repeat contractor requesting $575,960 to train 1,210 workers. Training will take place at Blue Diamond Growers locations in Sacramento, Modesto, and Turlock. A representative from Blue Diamond Growers is present to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel members. My name is Sarah Anderson, and I am the site training lead representing Blue Diamond Growers. Blue Diamond Growers is a grower-owned cooperative partnered with 3,000 California almond grower families. We are so grateful for your consideration of our proposal as we are committed to quality, innovation, food safety, and delivering consistent returns to the growers who are partnered with us. Blue Diamond continues to invest in state-of-the-art technologies and equipment designed to enforce our strict quality and food safety standards and support our growers' increasing production well into the future. The funds for this new contract will support the training of our employees across our 3 facilities to the updated electronic sorting machines, grading equipment, new software, and more. We are excited to support our Grow From Within initiative by providing training opportunities to upskill our workforce. In fact, we promoted 232 employees in fiscal year 2024. Thank you for your consideration, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, so does the panel have any questions? I have one, and it's because I'm close to the methodology and I know it well, and I want to make sure, because I do not see productive lab within the contract. You talk about the use of training within industry for the standardization of training. That model historically has the leg of job instruction, job relations, and job improvement. One of my big worries I want to make sure is are you utilizing job instruction, and are you utilizing on the job, or are you utilizing it in the classroom lab, like simulated labs? Because that's traditionally very much an on the job.
Right. So how we are not conducting any TWI training via productive lab. So we are using TWI methodology in our certified trainer program as just one tool for our trainers to effectively train to.
Okay. So it's not a methodology you're using to do any on the job within this contract. Is what I want to make sure. It's not touching this contract as on the job training.
Right.
Okay. Then I'm okay with that. Any other questions or comments? No. All right. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve Blue Diamond Growers in an ETP funding amount of $575,960.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment online?
No public comments online.
Any in the room? No, they're just leaving. So we will move to vote.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Michael Hill,
Aye.
Douglas Tracy, Kirsten Browski, and Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor, so the motion is adopted and you're funded.
Thank you so very much. Have a great weekend.
All right, I think we are now moving on to our presentation on workforce literacy, I think.
Yes.
Good.
Good morning. My name is Ilya Launitz. I'm an analyst at ETP here, and I will be presenting today the Workforce Literacy Pilot Program presentation. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so the agenda for today is to provide just the purpose and reason that we're here for the presentation, a little bit of background on the literacy project, especially for those who are newer to ETP, some information about a survey that we conducted and the results we received, as well as next steps for the program. So the purpose of this presentation today is to provide this update on literacy, discuss some of the ongoing efforts that staff have been conducting, and to provide some results on a survey. This was brought about due to stakeholder comment from a few panels ago, where there were some questions about the literacy program and success. And so we're bringing this up as a response and to provide that information. So a little bit of background on this program. So in the fiscal year 22-23, ETP received a one-time allocation of $10 million from the general fund. So this is an alternate source program where the funding does not come from our main program. And with that, the funding was to create this pilot program for specifically workforce literacy. And this initiative, this program, aims to expand literacy skills specifically for immigrants, refugees, and other English language learners throughout the state. Last year in 2023, these contracts were approved between June and December panel meetings. And this program, it really was designed for the greater success of those trainees, bringing them that literacy training that they really need to be able to even get to a point where they can maybe get into a core project or get to build their skills by having that basic English and digital literacy and other literacy skills. Also, we are roughly 1 year into some of the first contracts at this point. This next slide shows a little bit of the allocations of where the money has gone to for these contracts. So you can see the larger amount is just an overall aggregate of various community organizations, multiple employer contracts. We do have a Chamber of Commerce in there. We have several California community colleges, and then a good number of single employers. So you can see the allocations in this chart that just kind of show a makeup of the various ones. And there's a lot of variety of industries for this program. With this next slide provides a little bit of background with the trainees. So as an aggregate for all of the literacy contracts, there's a projected trainee amount of about 5,600. Currently, we have about 1,300 enrolled. Almost, I guess a little over 900 trainees have received training that has been reported, and about 300 completed training that has been reported. I state as reported because sometimes training occurs and it does not yet get reported into our system, but we're only able to see what has been reported into our system. This next slide shows the potential performance as reported into our system. So this is hours reported by trainees per contract. And so we broke it down just into ranges. You can see that currently there are 11 contracts that have not reported to ETP. Some of these have had issues where, getting some of that training started, maybe getting it started a little late. Others maybe just haven't reported it into the system as of yet. 10 contracts have reported between 1% and 24% into our system. And then we have 5 contracts between 25 and 49%, and then 2 contracts that are over 50%, which is the benchmark that we were hoping to have by the first year for performance reported. And as stated, so this report is based on contractors who have uploaded training rosters with trainees who have received at least 8 hours of training. So some that have reported or enrolled and the trainees have not quite gotten to 8% would not be showing in this graph here. And then as stated, there are, and we'll go over to this more in the slide, but there are a handful of contractors who are taking a little longer than expected, and that's something else that we'll get into for the presentation today. So as stated earlier, ETP did create a survey, and we sent that out to all the literacy contractors, of which there are 28 active. This was sent out online, and we had a 90% response rate. For those, it was sent out to the contract representatives specifically to get kind of to gauge where they stand. Some of the questions, some of the key important questions were asking them about challenges with their employer engagement, with their training. There are some of the issues that they might be having with administration, as well as successes and an open dialogue for additional comments. The goal of the survey was really to gather data, including challenges and successes, so that we can figure out next steps, analyze the data, and determine what we need to do. So as I stated, we did receive 90% response rate from the survey. And some of the responses, we're not going to include all of them today, include delays in implementation. And that might be from just unexpected delays with employer engagement. It could have been administrative delays with creating their program, and a variety of different reasons. And many requests for contract extension were brought up also in the survey. Another item is specifically on the curriculum. So currently the guidelines state that a significant portion of the literacy needs to be in English. There were some requests that were showing high demand for just primarily digital literacy. And so some programs were looking at, the employers really want to just see a lot of the digital literacy and not the English literacy. So that was another response that we received from several of the contractors. There were some challenges with, specifically with the community colleges, where the trainer to trainee ratio might present a problem where the community college classes have a minimum of 20 students. So if you just drop out one student, you go to 19, and then they may drop the whole class. So there were some requests to potentially increase that ratio for that reason. And then there were also some issues with the part-time employees wanting to be able to focus more on part-time employees, specifically where maybe the training might not lead directly to full-time employment, but where these part-time employees still have a high need for literacy training, and to potentially expand that the literacy definition to handle that. And then I'll go ahead and get into some of the successes here. So these, again, this is feedback from the contractors directly. And those who are doing well in the program and having training occur, they're hearing about increased capacity for their organization, but also increased capacity for the individual trainees, where this training has allowed them to build their own capacity and take on more responsibilities. There's been a lot of gratefulness reported from the trainees themselves to have this opportunity. A lot of desire for more and continued literacy training for a lot of these trainees. And then the programs themselves, some of them are creating new programs to begin with, which they're grateful to have this opportunity, and others who may have had programs are able to develop even stronger programs than they had before due to this opportunity. And then I have a quote here from one of the contractors basically stating that a lot of the feedback they received from their employees of having this designated time in their weekly work schedule to work on language skills while receiving compensation has been a life-altering experience for them. So the next steps here are we will continue to engage with stakeholders throughout this whole process. And then our plan is to come to the October Policy Committee meeting to bring this more in full, to have a conversation and bring recommendations that will then go to the December panel for approval. And so it's a variety, a wide range of recommendations. I'm sure some may move forward and some may not, but we'll bring that for further discussion to that panel and then, or the policy and then the panel. And I do want to state that this is a pilot program for ETP. So it is new. ETP ourselves, we're learning. This is a learning experience. It's a learning experience for many of the contractors. So being a pilot program, I think something that we want to be able to do is have flexibility with this program to ensure the success of these programs. So at that point, I'll conclude my presentation. So thank you for hearing me. And if you do have any questions, you can give us an email at the email address listed here on this slide. And for all the literacy contractors, we will be communicating about the October Policy Committee. So hopefully we get a large contingent of people there. Any questions?
One. So it appears from the report that there is improved literacy. But I was wondering if the trainers actually measure that and report progress of the students, their literacy level.
If they're reporting the literacy level at the start and the beginning, or the start and the end, you mean?
Pre and a post measure to see how much progress people make? Do they do that?
I'd have to check with the individual programs. It's not a specific requirement for the program, but we can check and see about getting that data.
Past the pilot, we could consider adding that element of measurement in there for show progress.
Like what we do in public schools, like the Lexile level of like where you start and then where you end.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a note to make sure we ask that. Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm curious. Who is doing well currently? Is it a mix of organizations? Is it one specific contract type over others? When we look at that, I'm going to say mid-40s upwards of performance.
Yeah, I'd say it's a mix at this point. Some are mixed, some are single employers. And I think, you know, there are, in ETP fashion, I think some contractors don't report to us right away. So some of the numbers might look worse than they actually are.
In true ETP fashion. We like to delay the entry. But no, I was just curious whether we're really seeing one area being better than others that we could really learn from. But I know you're pairing people up as well, aren't you, from this data to help like navigate through some of the rough waters where there's not as good performance versus others.
Correct, yeah. And we'll definitely have a much deeper dive into this at the October Policy Committee.
Fantastic. Look forward to that. I'm sure we'll get lots of comments on that one when we get to that. Anything else from the panel on this? More questions? No. Do we have any public comment on this?
No public comments online.
Online. Do we have any in the room? Everyone's waiting with bated breath for October policy. It's going to be the best attended policy committee, Gretchen, we've had in a while.
Ever.
It's just to be able to ready for when I'm not here to vote in December. It's good. All right. So thank you so much for that presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we are moving swiftly on. We're getting near to the end of the agenda. We've come to the time of, does any panel member wish to request anything on future agendas? Everyone's looking at me going, nope, I'm perfectly happy. All righty. So we're now going to move to public comment. This is that opportunity where the public is able to come up and make comments. It is obviously just a comment. The timer will be set for 3 minutes. And it's on anything that has not been on the agenda today. All right. Any public comments? I don't see anyone running up in the room. Is there anyone online?
Nothing online either.
I see Robert getting up, but I don't know if he's coming for public comment. Are you coming for public comment or are you just stretching your legs?
I couldn't resist. Sorry, Robert Meyer, your Director of Economic Development. Thank you so much for the support of projects today. I wanted to just offer some congratulations to the community colleges and the contractor for Murrieta Chamber of Commerce that received funding today. Thank you for your consideration of their projects. I wanted to offer that they're a highly integrated region. They work together in a very collaborative way, and such that it increases the amount of federal investment for the region. It supports a lot of work between GoBiz and ETP, as well as a lot of other types of incentive projects, where it's really on the leading edge of a lot of federal investment efforts related to energy, critical materials, including lithium, logistics, defense, manufacturing. So thank you very much for considering those projects, but definitely understand they work really well together as a region. I wish more regions of the state could be as collaborative, but I just wanted to thank them for their continued partnership. So thanks.
Any other public comment? No more online?
Nothing online.
No Zoom hands raised. All right. So I guess we're coming to that side. We have no more public comments. So we are looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I don't even get it out of my mouth. But you notice no one's seconding. They're just like, whoa, hang on.
Second.
Thank you. All right, I better go to a roll call.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Michael Hill.
Aye.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Chris Dombrowski. And Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
All righty, so it is 11:50 and we're going to adjourn this meeting before lunchtime. All right, we'll see you all in September.